What's up, TTFF people? Welcome to the Tucson Family Food Project. My name is Steven Cotorobles. I know it seems like I'm always telling you that the recipe we're making is a quote-unquote classic, but there's a reason for that. As much as I want to teach you all how to cook interesting and healthy meals, at the end of the day, my main priority is to get you comfortable in the kitchen so that you feel confident cooking food for yourself and your family. And I personally think that one of the best ways to do that is to make meals that aren't only delicious, but that are also fun to make and serve. So today, we're gonna cook up something that's awesome for dinner some nights, but is also a huge hit at any type of gathering. It's not complicated at all, and the way we're gonna cook it today will impress anyone you serve it to. So get ready, because this week, we're making all-American hot dogs. In your meal kit this week, you have a package of hot dog buns, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, some relish, hot dogs, mustard, ketchup, and 1 whole onion diced up. And all you're gonna need to make this week's recipe is a frying pan, a wooden spoon, and a fork. So the first thing we're gonna do is warm up our oil over medium to low heat. The main thing is you don't want the oil to be too hot because then it's gonna spark a bunch. And if your oil is sparking too much, go ahead and lower the heat. So now what we're gonna do is put our hot dogs in. And if you notice, your hot dogs are cut down the middle. What we're gonna do is flatten the hot dog out so this skin stays intact, and we're gonna butterfly it. And we're gonna cook these face down. And what this does is it creates more surface area for the pan to touch. So this means more of the hot dog is gonna get cooked and get that seared flavor that tastes so good. And this is a little trick that you can use anytime you're cooking hot dogs to give it way more flavor. And we're just gonna let these go until they start to brown, and then we're gonna use our fork to flip them over. All right, so I've been checking these with my fork and we're ready to flip. So all we're gonna do is put your fork in and flip the hot dogs over just like that. Real careful, you don't wanna splash any of the oil. And we're just gonna let these cook on the back side and then they'll be ready. All right, so these have been cooking on the back here for about 3 minutes, and they are just about ready. They should look something like that. So now we're gonna go ahead and take these off the heat by carefully moving them onto a plate. Now the next little trick we're gonna do is we're gonna toast the buns. So you wanna open up your bun, and just like the hot dogs, we're gonna cook these flat. And you wanna make sure that the oil's not too hot again. We're gonna open them, and we're gonna toast these because it's gonna add another layer of flavor, but also another layer of texture. And we're just gonna leave these in here for a couple minutes until they're nice and brown. So now I'm gonna use my wooden spoon because I'm gonna make sure that I don't scratch my nonstick pan here, and I'm just gonna check the buns. Boom, that is perfect. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and flip this one over and be very, very careful. We're just gonna toast the back side of it as well. Probably needs a little bit more. And if you notice how they cook different, you can move them around the pan. See how this one's cooking towards the middle of the pan? So I'm gonna flip it over like that to cook this side. All right, so our buns are all toasted. So we're gonna move them over to a plate. And make sure everything is at a reasonable temperature. If you're trying to touch it like the way I am, make sure everything is cold enough that you're able to do it safely. Boom. Now all we have to do is put on our condiments. So there are our all-American hot dogs with our little Tucson Family Food Project twist. I hope you all see that even old school recipes of seemingly ordinary foods can be elevated with a little creativity and experimentation, which I encourage you all to use in the kitchen. To quote one of the greatest minds in the history of food, James Beard, quote, "Just remember, it's always a good idea to follow the directions exactly the first time you try a recipe, but from then on, you're on your own." Thank you so much to Jeremy and Pam at Market on the Move for making this week's recipe possible. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're on Instagram, please give us a follow at the Tucson Family Food Project. I'll see you all right back here next week with another delicious recipe. So until then, peace.